Here we are on Kinetic's dashboard page, where you are presented with an overview of the state of your assets. To begin, we must first connect our wallet. For the purposes of this instructional video, we will be using MetaMask, but several other wallets are supported by Kinetic. To connect your wallet, simply click the pink Connect Wallet button in the top right corner of this page, and proceed through the resulting connection prompts. Now that our wallet is connected, we are ready to test the supply and borrow functions of the Kinetic protocol. To begin, navigate to the static toolbar along the left side of the web page, and click the Supply and Borrow button. This opens the Supply and Borrow interface, which you can access from any page on the website. The Supply and Borrow interface is where you'll likely be performing most of your actions on Kinetic, and includes a wealth of relevant market metrics. Now we are free to supply one or more tokens to the lending pool. Supplying assets to a lending pool affords you the potential to earn interest, and is the first step in enabling the ability to borrow against these assets. You can supply many different types of assets, depending on the available markets on Kinetic. However, for the purposes of this tutorial, we'll be supplying S-Flare. To begin the process of supplying your asset, first select S-Flare from the Token drop-down menu of the Supply and Borrow interface. From there, you can specify how much of the total amount of the asset you would like to supply, either by entering a specific amount or by using the slider to increase or decrease the percentage you wish to supply. You can also simply click the Max button to supply the total amount of your chosen asset. This is what we'll be doing for this tutorial. Once you have determined the amount of your chosen asset you wish to supply, you need to determine whether or not you would like to enable your asset as collateral via the on and off toggle found just above the Supply button. Collateralizing your supplied asset allows you to borrow another asset against it. Kinetic uses an over-collateralized structure, which means that the value of an asset used as collateral on a loan exceeds the value of the loan. When you choose to collateralize an asset with the intention of borrowing against it, it is crucial that you consider its collateral factor. The collateral factor represents the amount of your supplied asset that you can safely borrow against. So, for example, a collateral factor of 70% means that you would be able to borrow against 70% of the asset you have supplied. You can view the collateral factor under Rates at the bottom of the interface. We will be choosing to collateralize our chosen asset by making sure the toggle is set to On, and having done so, we can supply our asset by clicking on the large pink Supply button. After doing so, you will receive a transaction approval request from your wallet, and once approved, your chosen asset will be supplied to its specific lending pool. Now we are ready to explore the Borrow function of Kinetic. You can easily access it by clicking on the Borrow tab on the top of the Supply and Borrow interface. On the Borrow tab, you are presented with relevant metrics on the various assets and markets currently available on Kinetic. You may wish to borrow another asset against your supplied assets for a variety of reasons and financial strategies, which we will go into in a future video. To borrow another asset, in this case we will be borrowing USDT, you simply select the asset from the drop-down menu, then select or input the amount you wish to borrow. Depending on the amount you choose, your health factor will change. If you look above the asset drop-down menu on the Borrow tab, you will see the words Health Factor after borrowing. The number to the right of this is your health factor. If you are borrowing an unhealthy amount of the asset, the icon next to your health factor will be a red X. If you are borrowing a healthy amount of the asset, the icon will be a green checkmark. If the amount is somewhere in the middle, your health factor icon will be a yellow warning sign. When borrowing any asset, it is critical that you keep your health factor in mind, as a low health factor increases your chances of liquidation. For this demonstration, we are going to borrow at the 25% mark so that our health factor stays in the green. Keep in mind, these values are for demonstration purposes only, and they may change with market conditions or other factors. It is also a good idea to check the Rates and Borrow Limit sections of the interface before making the final decision to borrow. Everything looks good. Now that we've confirmed how much we would like to borrow, we can click the large pink Borrow button to initiate the transfer of our newly borrowed asset. After doing so, you will receive a transaction approval request from your chosen wallet. Once you have confirmed this transaction, you should see your newly borrowed asset in your wallet, as well as on your Kinetic dashboard under My Assets. Now you are free to employ your borrowed assets in whichever financial strategies you wish. When it comes time to repay your loan, you can do so from your Kinetic dashboard by clicking on the light pink Repay button and choosing what amount of the loan you would like to repay. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will choose to repay the full amount of our loan by first clicking Max, and then submitting an allowance approval request by clicking Approve. We'll receive an approval request from our wallet, which we will then confirm. After our allowance is approved, we will once again return to the loan repayment prompt and click Max, before finally clicking Repay. We'll receive a transaction approval request from our wallet, and once we have confirmed it, we will have repaid the entire loan amount. That's all for this entry in the Kinetic tutorial series. For more like it, you can refer to the Kinetic YouTube channel. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the team via our Discord or Telegram channels, and we'll do our best to help you. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy using the many features of the Kinetic lending protocol. See you next time!